I never liked to bully.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I always kind of stood up for the ones that were bullied. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that protection or protective instinct in me kind of, it was always there. So it transferred well into security.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, through moving with different clients, you know what I mean? A lot of well-known clients, you know what I mean? And starting to get more of a reputation, you know what I mean? Building my name, I turned that into a brand and into a company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in 2018, of course, I formed my LLC and started, getting more contracts, club contracts, lounge contracts, you know what I mean? Moving around different clients and things like that. So, that's a little backstory, you know what I mean, on where I started and where I came from, you know what I mean? $8 an hour, 18 years old, you know what I mean, to, forming a solidified company, you know what I mean?
Hey, he's going up. He's going up.
He
was trying to be humble earlier, but I'm gonna name a few people that he's done business with. NBA YoungBoy, y'all know who that is. Y'all know who Lil Baby. All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Speak Your Life podcast. My name is Andre. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, whether you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcast. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We want the YouTube algorithm to pick up this video to make sure that everybody in YouTube gets this video, gets this information, gets this dope conversation that we're about to have. So, anyways, without further ado, I got a special guest here in the building. So, this man's all the way from Atlanta here, born and raised, and he's been doing security for a minute now, and he's an expert in what he does, as you can tell by his paraphernalia. So, anyways, please welcome my guest Ko to the show.
How you doing, everybody?
Good, man. How are you feeling out of 10? 1 to 10, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling all right, you know what I mean? First time on a podcast, but I feel good, though. I feel good, and I'm glad to be here.
Good. 8, 9, 10, how are we feeling?
Give it a good solid 8, 9.
Solid 8. That's it. I like that. Yeah. It's a Thursday, almost Friday. Almost headed to the weekend. You already know. So
it only gets busier for me there. So.
That's right. Yeah, man. So quick little thing. We were trying to figure out. We didn't know if this podcast was gonna work out today, but hey, God always works out a funny plan.
It worked out. We're here.
Worked out perfectly. So, the Uber, we thought it was going to go to this other direction, but it came to the right direction. So, here we are today. So, anyways, you ready to speak your life?
Most definitely.
All right. Cool. So, this is a question we ask everybody, and it's really simple. And, there are two things that are important in life that Mark Twain talks about: the day you were born and the day you knew why. So if you could, talk to us about maybe, the era, the year, that you were born, what was going on, and then give us that journey leading into, wow, this is the moment where I knew what I was put on this earth for.
Gotcha. Okay. We're just speaking about where I'm born and where I'm from. I'm from the SWATs, the West End.
Yes, sir.
Zone 4. You know what I mean? It's a fairly, can be a fairly rough upbringing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely in the suburbs, definitely isn't the young.
Yeah.
But, you push through and that makes you, that builds your character and that makes who you are.
Yeah.
I definitely had, 2 parents that made sure they instilled good values and morals in me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And pushed me to become the best version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Pushed me to stay away from some of the drama and some of the, troubles around the area that I grew up in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, that's where I'm from, but what I became, you know what I mean, is
college or any
No, no college. So actually, I went to high school. Graduated high school, got my diploma, and I ended up going to massage therapy school. My boss was massage therapist.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I had trade school. You know what I mean? I was like, I go to trade school. I wasn't really fond of college. I never really liked school. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people who went to college. And they had fun, but they regretted it in the end. You know what I mean? Whether it was student loans or whether it was just partying, that they felt like they wasted a period of their time where they could have been more productive. And I kind of took the route of hitting the ground running. You know what I mean? Getting out of high school and going to work. And so I started off making, working at Allied Universal, Allied Barton kind of security, security platform. You know what I mean? And making $8 an hour, sitting at a little gate. You know what I mean? Letting people in the corporate building. And I ended up getting into bouncing around multiple different jobs. I've always had different jobs. I realized that working for somebody else was never my thing. You know what I mean? I've always kind of on the course to become an entrepreneur and to become a business owner. Whether I was selling Hot Wheels in middle school or candy. You know what I mean?
Hot Wheels.
Yeah, Hot Wheels. I'm selling candy. In high school to even getting out of high school, I used to work Foot Locker, so I'm selling shoes, you know what I mean, flipping and reselling. Yeah. You know what I mean? Shout out to ATATF.
Yeah. There we go. Shout
out. Dope shoe, shoe platform in Atlanta. But like I said, hustle was always my thing. And I ended up getting into security, and that's where I found my passion.
Nice.
So, like I said, working at Allied Barton, that's not the kind of security that I wanted to do, you know what I mean? But I ended up getting into club security.
Okay.
Club security kind of opened up a whole new lifestyle, a whole new light, you know what I mean? A whole new avenue, and helped me to realize like it's a lot out there, you know what I mean? And through club security, that got me to the exec protection and the bodyguarding aspect.
Wow.
And I actually got pulled out the club one night, you know what I mean, to go bodyguard. I had bodyguarded a couple of, you know what I mean, less recognized, you know what I mean, clients, and artists and things like that. But once I got out of, basically I was working in Magic City. So my first club was
Magic City.
But my first club working was a U Bar. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of went into that, and I'm gonna bring it all together. But I kind of went into the U Bar. I'm young, you know what I mean, barely legal enough to even get inside the club. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
And I kind of. Definitely wasn't the most professional. Definitely wasn't the most, you know what I mean, the best security guard. I kind of fell into that typical stereotypical, you know what I mean, security guard that's, you know, I wouldn't say a bully, but definitely, you know, fighting and, you know what I mean, enjoying all the negative aspects of it, you know what I mean? The drama, you know what I mean? Definitely fighting a lot. Definitely fighting a lot.
You said definitely emphasis on that.
No, most definitely.
That MMA background was put to use.
Yeah, it was fun, you know what I mean? And like I said, I obviously do have an MMA background, you know what I mean? I fight. I've been training martial arts since I was 5 years old, and you shouldn't be using martial arts to, you know what I mean? Take advantage of people. Like I said, I want to take advantage of people, but you know, you get those people that come inside the club, and they wanna be the tough guys. So I guess my thing was I like to challenge the tough guys. You see what I'm saying? And in security, you know, when you're in the club, it's a lot of those people that come inside. You know what I mean? Come in there.
That's right.
But long story short, I ended up working at, you know what I mean, multiple other clubs. I ended up finding my spot in Magic City for a while. Yeah. And while I was in there, a guard came in, an executive protection agent, a bodyguard for, you know what I mean, a well-respected artist. And it was during the Summer 16 concert. So the Summer 16 concert, like I said, I had bodyguard before then, but that was my first, you know what I mean, big client that I moved around with. Yeah. And the whole experience in itself was, it was different. You know what I mean? Because you know, I was evolved from you know, just making sure the aisles were clear. You know what I mean? Nobody standing in the aisles, flashing lights at folks telling them to get out the walkway. You know what I mean? To actually moving with a very high profile client. You know, and like I said, it was just very different, but I fell in love with it. Yeah. And so that's kind of what I, you know, pushed towards, you know, pursuing and becoming more in the bodyguard and the exec protection, doing my own research, you know what I mean, doing my own training, reading different books, you know, self-educating. And I kind of just started getting out there, you know what I mean? And people started the hunger that was in me, that's always been in me, you know, and through that, you know, I started moving more and more clients, and I started understanding more of the business behind, you know what I mean, moving with these clients. And that form, that kind of, like I said, I've always loved money as well. So I was like, okay.
Hey, who doesn't?
Yeah, so I have a passion for security, you know what I mean? And I see that I can turn security into a business.
That's right.
And I've always kind of been on the protective side, you know what I mean, when it comes to whether my siblings fighting my siblings or, you know what I mean, different people around me, you know what I mean? I always try to kind of, I never liked to bully. You know what I mean? So I always kind of stood up for the ones that were bullied, you know what I mean? Yeah. But that protection or protective instinct in me kind of, you know, it was always there. So it transferred well into security. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And like I said, through moving with different clients, you know what I mean? A lot of well-known clients, you know what I mean? And starting to get more of a reputation, you know what I mean? And building my name. I turned that into a brand and into a company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in 2018, of course, I formed my LLC and started, getting more contracts, club contracts, lounge contracts, moving around different clients and things like that. So yeah, that's a little backstory, on where I started and where I came from, $8 an hour, 18 years old, you know what I mean, to, forming a solidified company, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah, he's feeling a solid 8 today. He started with $8 an hour. He's only going to go to $8 million a year. He's gonna go. Hey, he's going up. He's going up. He was trying to be humble earlier, but I'm gonna name a few people that he's done business with. NBA YoungBoy, y'all know who that is. Y'all know Lil Baby. So it's just to name a few. He's a humble guy, so I'm gonna do the talking for him as far as name dropping. So, anyways,
I don't really name drop nobody I've been with. Just through the security, and I like to protect my clients' confidentiality and things like that. So that's not really. But yeah,
definitely protecting the business. But anyways, I just I had to do that, just like a quick little
I guess.
But yeah, man, people out there like really want to know like what is the experience like? Maybe what was one of your favorite moments like being in this industry like maybe with
just I would say one of the positives and one of the more it's you traveling, you seeing the world, you know what I mean? You living a different lifestyle through the client that you're with, you know what I mean? Whether that's, like I said, international, different countries, or just going all over the U.S., you know what I mean? Flying in private jets, you know what I mean? Driving the nicest vehicles, whatever, you know what I mean? And that's what people see, but it's a lot of behind the scenes, you know what I mean, what goes into it as well.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of grinding, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say just the operating at a different level allowed me to see what's really out there. You know what I mean, and allowed me to kind of understand that it's a lot. It's endless possibilities. You know what I mean?
It is.
And if you grind and you work hard, you know what I mean. You never know what kind of avenue, what kind of lane you'll find yourself in. But you just gotta work hard at it. You know what I mean? And I've always wanted to have all those nice things that I was introduced through. Yeah, through somebody else.
Exactly.
I wanted to have for myself. You see what I'm saying? So through hard work and building my brand, and building my company, and building my name, you know what I mean? I wanted to be the one buying the private jet. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And going to these nice places on my dime. You know what I mean? So that's it. And I'm not gonna say money is the only thing that drives me, because it's not. You know what I mean? But in this world, you have to. Everything costs.
Nothing's cheap, nothing's free. There's no such thing as a free anything.
Most definitely. You know what I'm saying?
I
really,
feel that.
Yeah, really for me, money is a form of freedom. You know what I mean? A freedom that you can provide for yourself, and a freedom you can provide for your family and your loved ones. You know what I mean? And letting them introduce them to things they may never been introduced to before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. And what would you? I don't know. Like, what is one of the? I don't know if you could give us a story, like as far as like a really crazy experience, or maybe it's like a year or two. I don't know.
Yeah. So
you don't have to say.
No, definitely not. But bodyguarding, you know what I mean? Like I said, there's a whole another side to exec protection and bodyguarding that people don't see. You know what I mean? The long nights. You know what I mean? the always being on somebody else's time. Which is not an issue. You know what I mean? That's what we sign up for. But it's just what people don't see. You know what I mean? They're dealing with confrontations because we're the buffer. You know what I mean? We step in the middle of, this person and this person's conflict. You know what I mean? And the goal is to resolve it. You know what I mean? And diffuse it. You know what I mean? As a professional, the last resort you want to do, the last thing you want to, have to do is to fight. You know what I mean? Or shoot or get into any kind of violent altercations. You know what I mean? Which they come sometimes to present themselves. And as bodyguards and executive protection agents, you know what I mean? The biggest thing you should always be doing is always learning and always training. You know what I mean? Because somebody's paying you to protect their lives, you know what I mean? But you also have to protect your own. Yeah. And so, you know what I mean? Training is a big thing, you know what I mean? Because you never want to fall behind. You always want to be able to, you know what I mean, be there. But one thing that I probably, you know what I mean, I've been in a few different shootouts, you know what I mean? And so I ended up finding myself in a shootout.
Was this like a couple of years ago or a couple months ago?
It was a couple of years ago, you know what I mean? I found myself in a shootout with a client, who of course I won't disclose, but it was an eye opener. Wow. And for me, it was an eye opener more so on the business side, you see what I'm saying? And but also just shit, how quickly things can happen. You know what I mean? And how quickly, you know, you can go from everything being smooth to things popping off. You know what I mean? And like that's why I gave, you know what I mean, spoke on the training, because the training is very essential and very important. You know what I mean? Luckily, I was quick enough to, you know what I mean, and just
be on
my P's and Q's, be on my A games, you know what I mean, to be able to defend everybody that was in the vehicle, you know what I mean, defend everybody, you know what I mean, that and defend myself, you know what I mean, get home safe, and everybody, you know, luckily, you know what I mean, everybody was alive, you know what I mean, and you know what I mean, but
yeah, that's the main thing.
But yeah, when you go through a situation like that, it kind of opens your eyes to, all right, number one, I need to make sure I have my affairs in order, you know what I mean, I need to make sure I have my business legitimate, you know what I mean, because like I said, I ended up going to jail after that. You know, luckily I beat an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And all through self-defense, you know what I mean? And that has nothing to do with the crime or anything else. That just has something to do with the justice system, you know what I mean? And just, you know, how that operates. Because it was clear-cut self-defense, but of course, you know what I mean?
You have to go through the process.
Yeah, it's an expensive lesson. You know what I mean? Expensive lesson. For me, you know what I mean? It's more of, on the business side, you know, making my business more legitimate, you know what I mean, having more insurances in place and having, you know what I mean, certain things in place to where if that situation ever happened again right now, I'll be straight. I wouldn't have nothing to worry about, you see what I'm saying? And that one situation in itself kind of sat me down for a while because, you know, I was like 21, 20, 22.
Oh, you were young.
I mean, 22, 23, something like that, you know what I mean? And yeah. Shit, spent my damn life savings on a lawyer and different things like that, you know what I mean? And so, like I said, it sat me back, but it helped me to realize, okay, like, every time in life, you know what I mean, when something happens to me, I try to evaluate, you know what I mean, and look at it like, okay, you know, this happened, and how could it have went different, you know what I mean, or how could I have protected myself, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? So, but like I said, I sat down for a while. I ended up bartending. I ended up chilling on bodyguarding for a while, you know what I mean? After that situation, because I wanted to, when you're bodyguarding, like I said, it's a lot of things that people don't see, but you're always on the road, you know what I mean? I was on the road 30 days, 60 days, you know what I mean? At a time or longer, you know what I mean? Away from my family, away from my friends, you know what I mean? Away from my own life, you know what I mean? And if I'm trying to build a business, it's kind of difficult for me to do so. If I'm always on the road, you know what I mean? With you know, other clients, other people, you know what I mean? So I took like a year and a half, kind of sit down, started bartending, made some pretty good money at it, but that allowed and afforded me, an opportunity to, you know, to build my business in Atlanta, you know what I mean, and try to kind of build the foundation for, you know, how I wanted to scale my business. And so, you know what I mean, ended up connecting with my business partner now, but you know, and that kind of took us in the right direction, the right path, the right course, you know what I mean? And we're just trying to get it, man.
Nice.
But that's definitely one of the situations that kind of, you know, that opens your eyes, you know what I mean? And you realize some things when that situation happens, you know what I mean? About yourself and about life.
I think there's always like those, you know, pivotal moments that you have in life, you know, whether you're in security or maybe you're not in security, that you have. And then you're like, it helps you to take a step back, take a breather, because sometimes you could be like going all the time and you're just like on the move, and you don't realize, like, let me take some time to reflect. Let me take some time to like think. Let me take some time to just evaluate and analyze what's going on, not only what just happened in this moment, but also like going forward, like, you know, next months or years to come, to maybe either avoid or mitigate these situations from happening, or to prepare myself for if they were to come again.
And that's something in life people don't do. That's something you should always do just in life in general. You know what I mean? Just take time to reflect. You know, or just decisions made, or just, you know what I mean, directions you want to go in life, or just how things happen. You know what I mean? So
and like, so like I'm a person who's worked in the airline industry, and so like when we've had federal air marshals on, you know, on those flights, I've read some, you know, really unfortunate statistics about like how people, you know, in that protective service, you know, area industry, there's a lot of depression and there's a lot of, like, you know, suicide going on because you know, a lot of times they would travel for so long, be away from their families for so long, and they can't really talk too much to anybody about what they're doing because, you know, they try to keep it confidential, they try to keep it, you know, secretive or whatever. How do you, whenever you're away from your family, like, is it one of those things where typically you are hired in a cluster with, you know, with people, or is it they just, hey, you know, one or two guys out of your group in your company? How does that usually work? And it's like, do you guys like kind of like, I don't know if like if the right word to ask or just the right way of asking this is like how do you cope with that social aspect? Because you're not like, you're not like you're making friends with the client, but like, do you guys socialize amongst each other as bodyguards, or like how does that work?
No. I mean, like I said, first off, there's multiple different details. You might have one guard, and you may have 3, 4, 5 guards. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But moving with a client, you know what I mean. Like you said, the social aspect is a little different because you don't want to really become friends with them. You don't want to become too friendly.
That's true.
But you're also always around them. So you have that kind of difficult line of, you know what I mean, because you do communicate with them. And you do communicate with the entourage, you do communicate with the people around them, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't say it starts to form like I wouldn't say it starts to form like a family, you know what I mean? Because it's like, you're around them 24/7, you know what I mean? And like that time, it's long periods of time that you're just with them, you know what I mean? And so it's kind of hard not to form some kind of connection or bond, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I said, in the executive protection and bodyguarding industry, you know, it's very frowned upon to be friendly with your client. You know what I mean? So it's all about, I guess it's about the path you want to take, you know what I mean, as an executive protection agent or as a bodyguard or close protection. But when it comes to the suicide and the mental aspect, I would say that, of course, I mean, I've never had any suicidal thoughts. You know what I mean? Myself. And this is an industry you have to know what you're getting into. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people see the glitz and the glam and the lights, and they think, "Oh, I'm bodyguarding, I'm protecting this person." You know what I mean? They see all the positive sides to it, and not to say there's a lot of negative sides to it, but it's hard work. It's a lot of long, sleepless nights. It's a lot of time away from your family, and you have to know that, and you have to kind of go over into a grind mode and just understand, like, okay, I'm grinding it out. You see what I'm saying? And my thing that helps me is just focusing on the bigger picture. You know what I mean? And the goal and the vision that I have, you know what I mean? And that kind of keeps my head clear, my head level, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also working out, you know what I mean? Trying to
maintain.
Maintain myself, you know, and not lose myself chasing the grind, you see what I'm saying? And chasing the money or the vision that I have, you know what I mean? Cause it's a balance. Yeah. And everything in life is a balance, you know what I mean? That yin and the yang, you know what I mean? But I can see how it's a possibility. I can see how that happens. You know what I mean? Like I said, you are away from your family. But I would just say, you got to be built for this.
Yeah.
It's simply as that. You got
everybody.
Not everybody's built for it. You know what I mean? And I tell people that all the time. Like you think you know what this is, but you really don't know. You know what I mean? Like you make sacrifices every day. You know what I mean? And you're expected to make those sacrifices. You're being paid and compensated to make those sacrifices. You know what I mean? And to put yourself and your body, you know what I mean, your life on the line for somebody else. And so that's a mental thing in itself, being able to, you know, put your life on the line for somebody else for a check. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And not to say it's just for a check, but you're getting paid to do a job. You know what I mean? And
that's what it is essentially at the, you know, basic line.
And you know what I mean? Like I said, for me, luckily I have a passion for it. You know what I mean? I love to do what I do. I love to do a good job. You know what I mean? I love to put my best foot forward. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? People got to know what they're getting themselves into. And like I said, everybody's not built for it. Yeah. You know? So
that's true. You know, sometimes people have like a pedigree or, you know, maybe I don't know, some kind of advantage. I feel like you have an advantage. From what I heard, that your dad was like a champion in like Muay Thai or something like that, or I don't know, mixed martial arts.
You be getting information from somebody who been in here.
Got it from the feds.
Oh yeah, who been in here? Give you our information.
I'm DJ Glad.
But nah, I see. I ain't tell them all this. I ain't tell you none of this. That's gonna be there where you got this from.
Hey, you know, a good podcast host does their research.
Yeah, they got some informants in here. But nah, my pops a martial artist. You know what I mean? I want to say he's like Muay Thai champ and all that, but he's very talented at what he does. You know what I mean? Very talented at what he does. Like I said, he's been training martial arts. Been training me in martial arts since I was 5 years old. Okay. He's been training martial arts for majority of his life. You see what I'm saying? Been around just the fitness and wellness and you know, the martial arts for a long period. That's been a big part of my life. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say I had an advantage when it comes to that, but you know, the hand-to-hand combat is only a small aspect of bodyguarding and security. You know what I mean? It's a level of situational awareness. It's a level of, you know what I mean? It's a fight or flight response that happens when when situations arise. And sometimes, like I said, that's why you have to be built for it. Sometimes you don't realize what your response will be to that situation until you put in the situation. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But yeah, I wouldn't say I have an advantage. Like I said, I'm definitely you know what I mean, that's definitely helped me. You know what I mean? It definitely has given me something else. You know what I mean? Because I do have a certain level of hand-to-hand combat. You know what I mean? Hand-to-hand. You know,
upbringing
and martial arts background. You know what I mean? And self-defense to where I can protect myself. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And, I've actually trained other people. You know what I mean? And done self-defense classes for nonprofit or for the youth and for different things like that. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah, so that's, like I said, that's been a big upbringing. But yeah, Pops was, you know what I mean, was and still is a very talented martial artist. You know what I mean, and a great Pops who's instilled some, some good skill sets in myself. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I guess that's what I meant about when we were talking about the idea of being like built for this. Like that's what I mean. Like, you were built for it because
definitely as a notch in there. You know
it definitely helps. That your dad was helping you because like some people didn't have that growing up, and so like
just having a father period.
Having a father period, but then also like teaching them like okay, like Del Curry, the next Steph Curry, see like and you got Bronny James coming after
for sure. It
helps people. It gives them maybe some kind of advantage because it comes down to you and your individual decisions. But being built for this, you're definitely built for this because you came from a pedigree of something, self-defense or something.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Martial arts, like I said, martial arts fighting. That's something I love to do. You know what I mean? I am good at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is like a sixth sense.
Exactly.
It is like something that comes to me naturally, and that's through. You know what I mean? Like you said. Being introduced to it at such a young age and throughout my life. You know what I mean?
Around,
a lot of other people maybe starting at 18, 19, 20, you see what I'm saying? Which I've been introduced to it at a very young age. I've watched plenty of film, you know what I mean?
More practice.
Exactly, you know what I mean? A longer time of doing it, so yeah, most definitely. And I always look at that and I appreciate it, you know what I mean? And definitely appreciative of that. But yes, I mean, being made for that, I guess it would. But like I said, being made for that, for me, is more of a mentality rather than a physical, you know what I mean, skill set that you may have. You know what I mean? Because you can. I know plenty of fighters that can't be bodyguards and can't be executive protection agents. I know plenty of them. You know what I mean?
What would you say would be like some things that like kind of differentiate like people who, or maybe some like things that aspects that people have that are fighters that are MMA professionals, but you're like, hey, but it takes this or that to be in this industry. Like, what would you say?
Well, like what I was saying, there's hard skills and there's soft skills. You know what I mean? Fighting and martial art training and all that is a hard skill. You know what I mean? It's something that's, you train and you go out there and you do it and you do it and you do it. And that doesn't, there's how many fights you gonna get in? You know what I mean? There's not that, when you're bodyguarding, first off, if it comes to blows and it comes to fighting, you've kind of already lost at your job because your job is really to diffuse, you know what I mean, and prevent, you know what I mean, situations from arising, and that comes from your soft skills. That comes from how you observe things, how you communicate with people, you know what I mean, how you move, your soft maneuvers, you know what I mean. The fighting is the last resort. The fighting is like picking up a gun, you know what I mean, and shooting somebody. You can go train to fight, you can go train to shoot and get your aim and do all that, but that has maybe a 20%. 15-20%, you know what I mean? Aspect when it comes to bodyguarding and protection, you know what I mean? That's more of just like fine-tuning your senses, you know what I mean? Almost like just having that, just to be able to observe and sense
that
intuition. You know what I mean? Certain issues, intuition, you know what I mean? And just being able to move with a client and knowing the subtleties of how to move with them, you see what I'm saying? And if that client wants you to be loud, you know what I mean, when you're moving through a crowd, or if that client wants you to be more reserved and just kind of, maneuver. He wants to move on a low-key scale, you know what I mean? If that client wants you to, if it's female, she wants you to grab her hand to move her somewhere, you know what I mean? Or she kind of wants to do her own thing. Like, every client has
different
and
preferences.
And that just comes from, you know what I mean, being able to analyze and observe, you know what I mean, how they want to be moved and how they want to operate and things like that, you know what I mean?
No, that's true. That's true. So you're Yeah. So like basically the name that you go by is KO. Like.
Yeah, KO.
Literally KO. You're like your name's perfect for like. I mean, if you gotta do it to somebody, you know, gotta let them know.
Sure. KO. Yeah, KO definitely my name, and I have built a reputation of, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I said, that was my younger days. You know what I mean? I was like, really fighting more and doing all that. You know what I mean? But now I realize, you know what I mean, it's more of a business. But if I have to, you know what I mean, if it comes to that, of course, I will defend myself with my client or whatever situation, you know what I mean, may present itself. Yeah. But that's definitely not what I'm trying to go into.
Yeah.
Of course, when I was younger, I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. You know what I mean? I love having that KO. You know what I mean? I'm fighting, and I was fighting. You know what I mean? It was something that I enjoyed. You know, because I already enjoyed fighting, and I already knew I was good at it. So I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead. First dude to talk crazy. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go ahead. But I realized, that's that immaturity. You know what I mean? That's the wrong mentality to take. And also you realize, you work in that same club every night. Every night. That's true. You may be able to beat that dude, but I don't know if you Bruce Leroy. You know what I mean? Biting the bullet and all that.
You might come back.
You're there. Like that's your set position. You know what I mean? That's your post. So it's like you got to move smart in this industry and in life. You know what I mean? And doing security, you never know. You be out with your family, walking around.
They could be on it. Like they could be like
or you just bump into them. You know what I mean? And you did all this stupid, you know what I mean, stuff, and now you gotta be like the
baby, you know, kill somebody in Walmart, you know. Not that you want to do that, but you gotta protect your family.
But you know what I mean. So you realize, but definitely KO. Nice. You know what I mean? That's my name. I mean, it's also a little easier to go by than my regular name, my name I was given to me at birth. You know what I mean? So
which is and what does it mean? Like, what's the meaning behind your real name?
It means king or ruler. It's South African, so it means king of
nice. And what's your full name for the people out there?
It's KO. It's KO.
It's so long that he can't.
It's KO.
It's like what would bore you to death if he told you the whole thing.
Most definitely, KO. That's what they need to know.
But no, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, South Africa. You know, I got a chance to go there, literally right before the shutdown.
So I had a chance to go. That's what's up.
Man, you gotta go. You gotta go. It's it's an experience, to go to the motherland and just be in touch with that culture and, having the food and being around the people and, man, it's a whole nother world. Like, sometimes it makes you feel like you don't want to come back to America.
No, most definitely. Like I said, that just goes back to just that different, just broaden your horizons, you know what I mean, and just seeing different things, you know what I mean, just being introduced to different, you know what I mean, that when you start comparing, you know what I mean, like, it's a whole other life out here, you know what I mean? I always want to go to South Africa though, just Africa in general.
Definitely. I think everybody in the black community needs to do that at least once.
It's an ancestral plane, man. You know what I mean? That's where we from. You know,
that's where
that's the roots. That's the roots. So it's like, you know what I mean? I would definitely love to go back there. You know.
Yeah. So would you? I don't know if Obama ever called. Like, would you ever do Secret Service for him?
Most definitely.
Nice.
Most definitely.
Well, KO, I heard good things about you, sir.
I don't know. That's gonna be a while to get to that point. But most definitely. Barack Obama, come on, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm not turning away no client, but that's. I ain't gonna say I ain't turning around no client, but you know what I mean.
No, I feel that.
Definitely not Barack Obama. I'll put it like that.
That's true.
Definitely.
I bet that would have been a cool experience to be able to have, I don't know, the White House experience, but I guess that's another thing, just because you'd technically be working for the government.
So that's different, you know what I mean? That's the whole course to follow, you know what I mean? There's certain people that choose to go that path. I just chose to go out this one, you know what I mean? Not saying that, you know what I mean? Like, I bodyguarded dignitaries before, you know what I mean? And I bodyguarded different politicians or different, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? CEOs and corporate, and that's the direction I'm trying to go more into. You know what I mean?
Really?
It's more of the corporate. More the professional side, you know what I mean? More the actors, you know what I mean? And
like high profile.
Yeah. But that's personally for myself. Like I said, my company, you know what I mean? I just, rappers are cool, but you just got to be careful. You know what I mean? Because it's more of a liability when you get some of these younger, up and coming artists that's a little bit more hot headed. You know what I mean? You got a lot of artists out here, rappers. You know what I mean? That are very, you know what I mean, very intelligent. You know what I mean? They know how to move, and not trying to bring extra drama on themselves. And shit. I mean, they made it. So why would you want to go back to? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
but like you said, you do have in the, like I said, you know the rap community, the music and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
It's a different industry, man. Compared to any other music genre, ain't no like, rap beefs, like a pop beef or like a rock and roll beef. Like what is that? It's like a Twitter back and forth, like versus like bullets flying back and forth. Those are two different beefs.
Most definitely.
So,
you know what I mean? And I tip my hat to all the bodyguards. That's you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Putting their life on the line for these, clients out here.
Exactly.
It's a dangerous game, You gotta stay dangerous. That's one of our lines we love to use. Stay dangerous. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you gotta stay dangerous because they out there being dangerous. You know what I mean?
That's right. You gotta be in that mentality, like you said.
Sure.
Like
it's a zone you go in. It's a mask you put on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say it's a mask you put on like it's not you, but it's like like when you go there, you go there. You gotta know like it's a different zone. You know what I mean? You come home to the family. And it's different. You know what I mean? You want that love and chill. You can relax, kind of put your head down. You know what I mean?
You gotta flip on the switch.
It's a switch. It's a switch you flip on and off. You know what I mean? So when you're going out there, you flip it on. You know what I mean? A lot of my details have been just me. So it's just me protecting, you know what I mean, this person, you know what I mean? Or it's me and another guy, you know what I mean? I'm always outnumbered in any situation I go in. You know what I mean? And at security, a lot of times you're always outnumbered. Even in the club security, when you look at it, you got 200 people in the club, 300 people in the club, and you got 5, 6 security. You know what I mean? So it's a mentality you should switch on. And I try to tell my guards that all the same, like, I don't care if you bodyguarding the president, you know what I mean, or if you're doing security for, you know what I mean, a Shake Shack, you know what I mean. Like the mentality has to be the same. Because you never know when the situation may pop off. You know what I mean. You have to take that serious. So.
It's a lot of crazy people out here, and not even outside the hip hop community, you got school shooters and
just in life. You know what I mean. In life, it's not about it's not about just the rappers, nothing like that. It's just in life, period.
Exactly. But as we wrap things up, like we like to ask the question of like if we looked at life like a house, what would be like what would be like a pillar or foundational I guess piece that your house, your life would stand on? Like some people say loyalty, some people say integrity, some people say I don't know, just love, and I don't know, all those things. Like
love, loyalty, all those things are great. You know what I mean? And that's I believe heavily into loyalty. You know what I mean? And love. You know what I mean? And just having a solid foundation. I would just say, you know what I mean? Like your family. Your family is a huge thing for me. You know what I mean? It keeps you grounded.
Yeah.
And just also just the drive. You know what I mean? Drive is a big thing that pushes my life. You know what I mean? Determination, the drive, and the will. You know what I mean? To become better, the will to exceed. You know what I mean? The will to be in a different place that I am now in the future. You know what I mean? And that's something that's always driven me. You know what I mean? Just that will and drive and grit to want to, you know what I mean? Become, you know what I mean?
Better.
Become better, yeah. And just, like I said, I'm not going to say I didn't grow up in the worst of places. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't grow up in the best of places either. You know what I mean? And my parents gave me what I needed. You know what I mean? And I always had to go out and get what I wanted. Yeah. And so for me, and it's like I said, it's not about objects, it's not about any of that, but the drive just to want better, the drive to want to, you know what I mean? Yeah. And like I said, provide. I love to provide for my family. I love to take care of my family. You know what I mean? I love to, you know what I mean, give them a better life than I had. Just like my daughter, I want to give her a better life. You know what I mean? That I had. You know
Congratulations! You got a new addition to the family. You know,
most definitely.
She was April, right? April baby.
Yeah, April baby. You know what I mean? Right around Easter, so yeah.
Nice. That's
baby
beautiful.
Girl, yeah.
A lot of sleepless nights, y'all. A lot of sleepless nights.
Most definitely. Most definitely. You know, that father, taking that journey as a father is a whole other thing. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So it's a whole nother ball game. That's a whole other journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So being an entrepreneur is difficult in itself, but you know what I mean? Being an entrepreneur with a new baby,
wow,
that's a whole new level.
You have to go from like really tough guy to be like, oh, I love this girl.
Yeah. And I ain't never even tried to be the really tough guy because you don't have to be. You know what I mean?
I mean, like in the moments that you have to be, when you're on the job, you gotta, somebody tries you real quick. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. But yeah, with my daughter, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be it's definitely a soft spot. Definitely like a. Yeah, they bring out something different. You can't peer. I'm sure, boy or girl, they just bring out something different out of you. You know what I mean?
I think especially for the daughters, because the daddy-daughter dynamic is so different. Because like I know how differently my dad treated my sister growing up compared to me and my brother. But it's just a different vibe, and you know, it's like a little bit more protection, you know.
No, most definitely. I'm already protected. It's just, I'm scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you because I am so protected. Yeah. That's my baby girl. Like, she get older, you know what I mean? It's
That's
gonna be,
right.
and just the world we live in, you know what I mean? You see all this, you know what I mean, bullshit going on with, you know, it's a lot of people that like to take advantage of individuals, you know what I mean? Yeah. And just life itself, you know what I mean? So, and you can't always be there for her, you know what I mean? You know that. Yeah. So, like I said, she put a smile on my face just thinking about it, but I also like, yo.
When she comes, you know, homecoming and everything, you know, to meet the guy.
Oh, yeah, you know that, you saw that movie where they invite him in the garage and they, what's the name of that movie? I wish I knew the name of that movie. It was 50 Cent, I think. And all the dudes was inside of there. And he came take his daughter to the dance or whatever.
Man, you got to go through uncle. You got to go through cousins.
Yeah, you got to,
you gotta
come
go
on, man.
everybody.
Come see us. We here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We ain't playing
you're taking my daughter out.
That's I'm the bros. I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? That's how we going to be like.
That's right.
That's baby girl. We got to protect her. We got to protect our women in the community, period. You know what I mean? So
I agree.
Yeah,
man. But, very last question is question of the day. And it will be like, say for instance, you had a chance to choose any music festival to work at. Out of all the music festivals, which one would you?
That's difficult, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know how the music festivals are. But I am trying to get into more music, into festivals.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I am trying to get more into festivals, but
or if you had a top 3, which music festivals would you like to be a part of? There's so many of them. There's like Bonnaroo.
And you say like, be a part of, you mean
like as far as like
providers,
you know, doing the security services, details,
event
all
security and stuff like that.
Like Coachella, Lollapalooza, Afropunk.
Definitely Coachella.
Yeah.
Afropunk. I just went to Made in America actually.
Oh, nice.
So I just, you know what I mean, was providing services there. But definitely, you know what I mean, the bigger ones, you know what I mean, more. Yeah. Just I actually did security a long time ago for what's it called? Impossible World or something like that. It's like this big rave festival or something like that, man.
It was in Atlanta, downtown? Or?
Nah, it was in Georgia, but it was like a little further out. You see what I'm saying? But typically it's in other countries and things like that. I know with coronavirus and stuff, they didn't end up bringing it back. But I like festivals. You know what I mean? And I'm definitely they're different.
Yeah. So
they're different, but I would love to get like I said. That's one of the branches I'm trying to branch off into. You know what I mean? So the roving security. You know what I mean? Yeah. They put my vehicles out on the road. The event security and the festival security is a thing I'm definitely, you know what I mean, getting into. You know what I mean? And navigating how to get my foot in those doors as well, because that's something that I would like to get into. You know what I mean? So, you know, just different aspects. I have my festival, my event security. That's all in one. You know what I mean? I have my roving security patrolling, you know, residences and neighborhoods and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Got my armed guards at clubs, lounges, CVS and quick trips. I mean, whatever. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, the bodyguard and executive protection aspect. You know what I mean? So it's multiple different aspects to the company. But festivals, definitely trying to get into. I need to research more. Obviously.
No,
obviously, I got all the names that come to my head.
That's the big one right there.
Coachella, definitely, that's the big one. And what's another one? I know Lollapalooza, but what's the other one? That's a lot of
the one in Vegas.
Artists go. It's a lot of
Rolling Loud. Yeah. Miami. Yeah.
Rolling Loud. I know they moved different cities and all that, but Rolling Loud, that's definitely nice. That's definitely one I want to get into. I would definitely love to. You know what I mean, take the reins, and I like challenges. So I can already see how it's a challenge. I was just bodyguarding the client, so I can't imagine, you know what I mean? Trying to control
people.
Yeah, trying to control all those people, you know what I mean? And all that. That's a whole operation. And that's the other part of security that goes into. I know we got to wrap it up, but it's just being able to map out strategy, you see what I'm saying? And that's the exciting part for me, being able to, you know what I mean, figure out, like, how you going to be able to control. Like you said, you're always outnumbered. So how can I control thousands of people with, you know what I mean, 50 guards, 60 guards, 100 guards, you know what I mean? Like, that's a whole other level of
expertise.
Like I said, you can never stop evolving, never stop learning. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to educate myself and become the best version of myself that I can become, you know what I mean? But that's exciting, you know what I mean? To control an operation like Rolling Loud or like, you know what I mean, Lollapalooza, Coachella, you know what I mean? That's Afropunk. That's different.
Man.
But
Definitely. I mean, I'm looking forward to whenever you get to that point. I'll be looking
It's coming soon, man.
Definitely. Sure. We speak into existence. So we're the Speak Your Life podcast. We're speaking life into existence.
We manifest things. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
They always come to fruition. So.
Man, well, definitely appreciate you being here on KO. It's been a pleasure, man. Yeah. So, anyways, how can people find you? Like, Instagram,
most definitely. So,
website?
Canon Executive Protection on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
My website is actually in the process of becoming. I mean, I'm about to put that out very soon. You know what I mean? I'm on LinkedIn, Canon Executive Protection. I'm on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Man. I mean,
yeah.
My email is ko@canonexecutiveprotection.com.
Yes, sir.
For any, you know what I mean? You need security for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, I can cover it in any state. So you just let me know. You know what I mean?
There we go. We'll leave the links below. And again, thank you all for tuning into this episode. We really appreciate you being a part of this Speak Your Life community. If you have not already, make sure because we look at the YouTube algorithm all the time. 80% of y'all are not subscribed yet. So hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it gives us everything.
Free 99.
It allows us to give that revenue so we can pour back into the podcast and give you the best quality content possible and constantly bring in the best guests that we can. So again, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys, and we will see you on the next episode. Peace.
Sorry.